All right, we have got to the kind of the main idea of the lesson here, and that is solving trig equations, and we're going to use some of the factoring patterns that we talked about in previous examples. This one is a little simpler though as far as the factoring goes. We just have tangent x in each of those terms. So what we can do is take out a greatest common factor. Now our goal is going to be to factor this, split it up into mini equations, and then solve get a couple of solutions for each mini equation, therefore get solutions for the entire equation. So the way we're going to start this is we're going to take tangent of x out of each one of those. Tangent of x is in both of those terms, and what it leaves us with is in the first one, square root of 2 cosine x, and then minus 1. Keep in mind that when you take out a tangent x for something like this, we're dividing it out, so it's not a 0, it's 1 that takes the place right there. Once we get it to this, notice that we have multiplication between these two, and so now we can actually split it up using the zero product property. One of those mini equations being tangent of x equals 0, the other one being what's on the inside. So we're going to set those two equal to 0. If we solve each of these individually now, because of the zero product property, we will have solutions for the entire equation. Let's start with tangent x equals 0. Now, from your unit circle, remember that tangent on the unit circle is y over x. And so when we're looking at points around here, it's points that have a y value of 0, which are this one and this one. So for tangent of x, we're going to be looking at the angle 0 and the angle pi. We're going to remember to be in radians. You might also notice that this has a 2 pi. 0 and 2 pi are the same. If there's a choice between the two, we are going to choose 0 instead of 2 pi. So that means that for tangent, our two solutions were 0 and pi, because those were the two values that made the tangent value equal to 0. Now the other one, we have to actually solve it for cosine first. We have to isolate the cosine. So we're going to add the 1 and then divide by square root of 2, leaving us with cosine of x equals 1 over square root of 2. Now remember, we can't have the square root in the denominator, so we are going to simplify this before we solve the equation. The nice thing is that it turns it into something a little bit more familiar. It turns it into square root of 2 over 2. Now once we have that, we look back at the unit circle, and the cosine value, remember cosine is the x, so we're looking on in one turn of the unit circle where our cosine, where our x value is square root of 2 over 2. So that's going to be, there's a couple of places. Here's one of them, positive. If we go into the second quadrant, notice that the x value is negative, so we're not going to use that. This one's also negative, we're not going to use that. But then by the time we get over here to the fourth quadrant, that one's positive again, so we're going to use 7 pi over 4. That means that the solutions for this mini equation are pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4, giving us a total of 4 different solutions to our equation that we started with up here.